मह्यं दद वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतः पदकमलं गुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं रघुनाथामृतं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगणा ललिता श्रीशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा very happy and grateful to be amidst all of you all once again. Welcome to our Gita classes. Today we are going to be talking about one of the very important characters in the Mahabharat, which is Karna. Karna is one character that is um, very enigmatic because very often people do not understand whether to conclude him to be a hero or a zero, whether he is actually somebody who is so much celebrated or he is somebody who is not to be celebrated. And to top it all, there are so many stories that are floating around that make us even more confused. Today, at the end of today's session, you will have a lot of clarity on the character of Karna, and you will get to know things that you have never known till now. And you will get to hear what is true and what is false. Because there are a lot of stories that many people have made up, which are not at all in the original Mahabharata at all. God knows where they came to know from. If Vyasdev has not written it, no idea where they found Karna. They spoke to him, they had some interview or conversation with him, and they made up some interesting stories about him that probably he himself doesn't know. So we will be seeing a lot of that today. And then we will decipher the character of Karna from a realistic point of view to understand who Karna really is. Is everyone able to hear me clearly, or is there a voice issue? You're able to hear me clearly? All okay?
Yes.
Everyone's able. Very good. Thank you very much. Um, I am not in my regular setup. I am traveling, so I am using my laptop audio only. So you probably have to bear with me on this. If it is absolutely not audible and it's very low, then I will try my best to do some changes. But at present, this is my best I can. So will you be able to manage? Okay. Just give me a minute. I'll try my best to sort it out. Just give me a minute. Can you all hear me better now? Hello. Hari Bol. Can you all hear me better now?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Yeah, better, Guruji.
Okay, great. Okay. Super. So, yeah. So I was saying that we're going to be discussing a whole lot about the personality of Karna, and we will actually see many things that probably you have no idea about it, and we will actually see the logic behind Karna's thought process, which is more important than anything else. Okay. So I want all of you to approach this session with an open mind, with a clear consciousness, with a desire to learn. Do not bring in emotions here. Please do not come with already preconceived notions of what is right and what is wrong. Be open to hearing and be open to understanding what I'm trying to say. So a lot of people bring in an emotional element here, which is why they are not able to hear half the things I say, right? So I've given you all a lot of background to to the thought process and to what I'm going to say now. And with this background, I'm going to start today's session. So in the Mahabharat, you find that the idea of knowledge is connected a lot with the way you understand things. So there are different types of people in this world. The first type of people are ignorant people. Ignorant people are just ignorant. They just don't know anything. They don't know anything, basically. They're ignorant about many things in this world. And like, for example, if you have ever had a situation like this in your life, you will recognize what I'm trying to say better. Suppose you have had situations where you are going for an exam and you're just about to enter a hall for an exam and you're not prepared at all. The fear that you experience is very deep. You feel some kind of a wrenching in your stomach. And when you look at people around you who are just before entering the hall having so much confidence in themselves, you start wondering where did that confidence come from, because you don't have the same confidence. And for sure you have not studied. In fact, when you smell your own book, it smells so fresh and new. You know how new books smell, right? Because you're not studied only. That's called ignorance. Typically, ignorance is very obvious. There are the second type of people who follow the second category. The second category of people are those who are trying, but they can't understand. They're trying to know, but they're not able to understand because the problem here is capacity. There are some people who are just don't have the capacity to handle some things. The first category of people, they don't even try. Why? Not interested. The second category of people, they try, but कुछ जाता नहीं है भेजे में. I'm sure you must have come across some people like that, right? Try a lot, but nothing goes in. There's the third category of people. The third category of people are those who understand. They understand pretty well. But though they understand, they can't live by what they understand. They can't live by what they understand. Why they can't live by what they understand? Because they are weak people. They're weak people. They understand exactly what is right and what is not right. It's not that they don't understand, but it's just that they're weak. The fourth category of people are those who understand, who know, who speak clearly. They say, we won't do it. They have intelligence also, they have inner strength also, but they will still not do it. To have faith in God is not a big deal. The statistics in America is 70% people believe in God. But there is an unwillingness to practice spiritual life. That unwillingness is known as Rakshasi Vritti. It's not that knowledge is not there. It's not that they don't have intelligence. They know everything, but they're not willing to do it. So, such people, they um, they are like the pot that is kept ulta. If you keep a pot upside down, no matter how much water you pour into it, you think water will remain? It's not possible only. It's just not possible for water to remain. Because in an upside down container, nothing can be stored. Similarly, the fourth category of people, they know what is right, they understand what is right, they know what is right, but they will do what they want to do. They will do what they want. It's not that they're going to follow, what is God's will. They will do what they want to do. In the Mahabharat, we're talking about Karna. Actually, in the scripture, there are three types of karmas. There are rather three karnas. The first karna is known as Kumbhakarna. I'm sure in the Ramayana you would have heard of Kumbhakarna, right? What is the meaning of the word Karna? The word Karna means ears. And the word Kumbhakarna means the one who has big ears. His ears are like a pot. Huge ears. What is ears all about? Have you ever thought about it? Ears can hear, isn't it? You hear advice, you hear instructions, you hear good things through your ears. For a lot of people, have ears. In fact, our ears are open. One organ you can't close only, even when you want, if you want to, right? You can't close your ears. You keep hearing all the time. But there are some people who hear but don't understand. Kumbhakarna, he knew very well that Ram is God. In fact, Kumbhakarna, during the war, Ram-Ravan war, during the last phase, he actually tells Ravan that Ram is supreme God. He knows that Ram is also Ram is God and Ram is right. And he knows Ravan is wrong. He tells Ravan, I can tell you for sure that you are going to die and I'm also going to die with you. In fact, during the war, Vibhishan attacks Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna tells Vibhishan, he tells his brother, hey Vibhishan, you get out from my way. I don't want to kill you because I know that you are the only person in our family who will be alive. He said, just get out of my way. I don't want to kill you. He said, there should be at least one person left to do Shraddha for the others. So Kumbhakarna knew everything. He knew everything, but unfortunately, he didn't live by what he knew. In the Mahabharat, we find another Karna. He is known as Vikarna. And who is Vikarna? Vikarna was the only person in the whole Kaurava army. He was one of the Kaurava brothers. But he was the one who actually opposed the Draupadi Vastraharana. He actually said, don't do this. He was the only one who said it. But unfortunately, though he said it, he couldn't live by what is right. He knew what is wrong, just like Kumbhakarna. He knew what is wrong, but ultimately did whatever was wrong only. That is Vikarna, the second Karna in the Mahabharata. The third Karna in the Mahabharata is the Karna that we are discussing about. So we want to talk about this Karna, who knew what is right and what is wrong. But what he did in his life is very interesting. And to understand what he did, right or wrong, we need to know a lot about the history of this person. So to help us understand a little bit of the mindset and the background of a person, let me give you some thoughts that will help you understand this better. See, there are many things that are choices. And whatever you choose, there is no right and wrong in it. Like for example, if you go to a mall and you choose a yellow color t-shirt, which color you like? Is there right or wrong in it? Can you say, "Arey, yellow, bad choice"? There's nothing like that. Whatever you choose is right. There's no right or wrong in choosing a color of cloth. Like if, for example, if you go to Dubai, if you go to the airport of Dubai and you wear a yellow color t-shirt and walk around in the airport, it's not that suddenly you're going to get caught saying that, "Arey, how dare you wear yellow color t-shirt? We'll arrest you." No, that won't happen. But if you go to Dubai airport and in your bag you're carrying khaskas, I'm sure you know what is khaskas, right? Khaskas is a particular type of eatable that is often used in many sweets, commonly used in India. But if you take khaskas and you're caught in Dubai airport, you get arrested immediately. There you can't tell them, "Arey, it's my choice. I'll eat khaskas. I'll do whatever I want with khaskas." No choice. For some things in life, there are choices. And for some things in life, there are no choices. So if someone does wrong, one should not show sympathy. And someone who does wrong should not want sympathy also. Right and wrong is not determined by your own choice. It's not that I choose to say, "Arey, what I feel is right is right. What you feel is right is, not right about it." No. Right and wrong are decided by a different set of principles and rules that govern society, that govern the laws of this world. So, in this world, there are three things that are very prominent. One is known as Ishwara Ichha. Ishwara Ichha means understanding that without God's will, nothing can happen. Of course, a lot of people you misuse this philosophy in India to call someone, "Please come to the temple." They will say, "भगवान का इच्छा जब होगा आएंगे, खाना खाइए, जब भगवान का इच्छा होगा तब खाएंगे." A lot of people misuse this philosophy of Ishwar Ichha to their convenience. Whatever they don't want to do, they'll put it on God, saying that, "Arey, whenever God calls me, I'll come." So a lot of people don't understand Ishwar Ichha only properly. So that means whatever happens to us in our life, it is governed by three things. The first is known as Ishwar Ichha. Not very easy to understand what is Ishwar Ichha. Very difficult, in fact, very complicated. The second principle that determines what happens to us in our life is known as Purva Karma. Purva Karma means something that I have done in my past life that is affecting me today, my behavior today. Like, for example, a very small child, 4-year-old child, developing very strong tendency to steal, very strong tendencies to do different strange things. Now, where does a 4-year-old child even develop the experience and understanding from? It's not from this life, it's from a previous life. It's called Purva Karma. The third thing that determines whatever happens to us in our life is known as Satsang and Vatavaran. Satsang and Vatavaran means the surroundings in which we are. Very often, rather, most often, we do not have influence over Ishwari Ichha and Purva Karma. Can you? Most of the time, we don't have any control over them. We can't decide what's God's wish. We can't decide what our Purva Karma has been. Those are not in our hand. But the third thing is very much in our hand, which is this Sangha and Vatavaran. We have a choice in choosing our surroundings. Our surroundings create our values. Our values create our culture. Our culture recreates our future values. And therefore, it is very, very important to understand that how Sangha Vatavaran influences our choices of values. Like, for example, many years back, the culture used to be of piggy banks. What is the idea of piggy bank? The idea of piggy bank is very strongly connected with the idea of save, isn't it? And the value that is connected to it is sense control. Piggy bank, keep putting money. That means you don't spend that money now. Save it, save it, save it, save it. Control yourself now. So that it accumulates and becomes a huge amount later. Right? That's the value that is created. But today, if you look at the situation today, or rather the culture today, what is the culture today? The culture today of credit cards. And what is the culture that credit cards are giving us? The culture that credit cards are giving us is spend what you don't have also today. No sense control. Let your senses loose. So now that's the whole idea. Depending on what is the environment you create around you, that environment creates a certain set of values in you. Like, if you look at today's and the culture of um, the way in which science is today, and the idea of science many times talks about very clear concepts of creation, the idea of how creation happened, and a lot of people who are understanding how creation is an automatic process. The theory of Big Bang, the theory of evolution, all those theories you study. After you study, what do you come to the conclusion? The conclusion you come to is there is no God, there is no soul, there is no papa, there is no punya, there is no reactions. So naturally, if you come to that conclusion, what do you end up doing? You end up becoming an atheist. And for an atheist, there's nothing like right and wrong. An atheist can do anything because there is no check and balance. There is no control. I do what I want because I like it. That's all. So the moment you bring in the idea of religion, the moment you bring in the idea of spirituality, the first thing that comes in is there is a creator behind creation. And the moment you understand that there is a creator behind creation, the next thing that comes in is responsibility. Immediately you become responsible for your actions. Immediately you become responsible for how you behave. Because you know very well there is someone watching you. You know very well that there is someone you are accountable to. And the moment you understand the idea of accountability, and the moment you accept the idea of accountability, then you are very focused on your choices. When a painter paints anything in nature, look at this painting that this man is painting. If you look at the actual natural scene that is in front of him, and look at what he is painting, there is a difference in the color schemes, right? Nature has one type of color scheme, and this fellow is painting, and according to his capacity and his understanding of colors. Now, people paint according to their choice of colors, not essentially the truth. This is the painter's way of looking at the object that he is painting, right? Similarly, when many authors write or paint different characters, they bring them up according to their choice, their understanding, their situation, their way of looking at it. Like there are many authors who have written books on Karna. And they bring out the character of Karna according to the way they think Karna was, not necessarily the reality of Karna. It's their understanding. Like, for example, in Gujarati, there is a Mahabharat in Gujarati, where when Draupadi disrobing was happening, it says Karna turned his face away. That is not in the Vyas Mahabharata at all. In fact, Vyasa's Mahabharata talks about how Karna was the one who actually gave Duryodhana the idea that he should disrobe Draupadi. You read the Mahabharata verses, Karna actually says this. I'm just giving you, some of the verses that Karna speaks. So he says, "Hear my clear opinion." He's telling Duryodhana. Now that they are our servants, take off their clothes. So when Karna said this, Duryodhana, agreed to it, and he told the Pandavas, "Take off your clothes." So the Pandavas took off their upper garments as a sign of respect. So for men at that time, the culture of that time was to take out the upper cloth. It means, it's like a sign of disrespect. It's like, I am fallen, I am low, I am subordinate to you. So so this idea, Karna was the one who gave this idea. Get them to take off their clothes. So there are people who have made stories around the character of Karna. I'm just telling you a couple of other stories. Like there's a story which says once Duryodhan and Karna were playing chess together. And Karna's wife, Duryodhan's wife also was sitting along. And when she was leaving in the middle of the chess game, Karna pulled her sari and her moti mala, she was wearing a moti mala, it breaks. Duryodhan sees that and he says, "I trust my friend, I know he has no wrong intentions." Now, this story is not there anywhere in the original Mahabharata at all. This is a made up story to show the friendship between Duryodhan and Karna and show how Duryodhan trusts Karna. Another story of a milkmaid who was carrying a milk pot, and Karna's chariot scares her. The girl drops the pot, and Karna comes when he sees that the girl's pot is dropped. So he tells her, "I'll get you milk." The girl says, "No, I want this milk only." So Karna, he digs up the earth and extracts milk from the earth and gives it to her. The earth was very upset. "You gave me so much pain." And the earth cursed Karna that when you are in the toughest battle of your life, I will sink. The earth will sink. So Karna, he said, "I don't care." Now people say how ruthless the earth was and how Karna is so great. But this story is nowhere in the Mahabharata. It's a made up story. Another story is of Karna lying in a pool of blood during his last phase. And Lord Vishnu comes to ask him charity to show the greatness of Karna. And Karna, when he's lying in this pool of blood, Vishnu comes. He doesn't have any money, obviously, but he takes a rock and breaks his teeth. He had one teeth made of gold and gives that gold teeth away in charity. By the way, Arjun cut off Karna's head. His head was chopped off. God knows where he got his hand and head together to break the teeth and all that. No idea. This is a made up story again, And another story is of how Indra comes as a bug to bite the thigh of Parshuram when Parshuram was sleeping on, thigh of Karna when Parshuram was sleeping on Karna's lap. This is not in the Mahabharata at all. This is again a speculated version. Another story, Kunti requests not to kill the Pandavas. She goes and requests Karna. That's how the story is mentioned. And Karna says, "Except Arjun, I will spare all." People say how great Karna is. The reality is, not once Karna defeated Arjun in the entire Mahabharata study, but many times Arjun defeats Karna throughout the Mahabharata study. And in fact, during the war also, Bhima defeats Karna. He defeats him once and he was almost about to kill Karna, but Karna actually does not kill, Bhima was about to kill Karna, but Bhima does not kill Karna because he remembers Arjun's vow. that he had taken a vow to kill Karna. So Bhima just lets him go. So it's not that only Karna took that vow saying that I will not kill any of the five, the Pandavas except Arjun. But actually, the other Pandavas also spared Karna a couple of times. So when you look at the entire story of the Mahabharata, there are some things you should really understand very, very well and very importantly in the Mahabharata. Whenever we are analyzing a history, see, Mahabharata is not a mythology, by the way, as people say. We remember we had mentioned this right in the beginning. We should not use the word mythology. We should use the word itihas, which means history. Do we have the flair to use our intelligence and analyze historical and psychological perspective of the Mahabharata as described by Vyasdev? And Vyas is like the most non-involved person. He is a very detached person when he's writing the Mahabharata. If you remember, we had discussed this. How Vyas has written the Mahabharata and he has spoken truth as it is. He has not hidden anything. He doesn't have a prejudice while writing the Mahabharata. It's not that Vyasdev has some problem with Karna. It's not that Vyas has some problem with Duryodhan. That's why he's writing Mahabharata to just show the world that these guys are bad guys. Vyasdev is a non-partial person without a prejudice, like a CCTV camera, is reporting everything as it is. Unlike today's media that manipulates what we see and shows it as truth, Vyasdev is purely stating all the thing that happened without his opinion. And that's the most amazing quality of Vyasdev. The Mahabharata wants us to grow, which is why it has the honesty to record apparently contradictory stories and incidences as they are. If Mahabharata wanted to protect Yudhishthir and always say he's right, Mahabharata could have easily eliminated the story of the one bad thing that Yudhishthir did by gambling, isn't it? How easy it would have been for Vyasdev to eliminate that story and take off all the bad from Yudhishthir's life. It would have been so easy and so convenient for him. But he didn't do it because that's not his purpose. Vyasdev, he has the courage to call Karna a kalpavriksha, a desire tree, and the openness to show and to tell that Yudhishthir has a weakness for gambling. He narrated his own controversial birth, not because he's shameless, but because he's transparent. And that is why we can say Vyasdev is honest to the core. And therefore, he is considered to be the literary incarnation of Lord Narayan. So Vyasdev does not present an isolated or exclusive picture, but an integrated and inclusive picture. And therefore, when we look at Karna, we look at the whole idea of studying the Mahabharata, we have to look at it from an inclusive point of view and not an exclusive
You're not
point of view.
listening.
So, Mahabharata has four amazing things to teach us. The Mahabharata deals with four things. Listen to this very carefully. These are four things that the Mahabharata teaches us about every character, literally. The first thing the Mahabharata teaches us is excellence in skills. Excellence in skills. This is very easy to see, isn't it? Somebody who's expert singer and somebody who's not such an expert singer. Very easy. The moment you open his mouth, you can come to know, Hare Baba, this guy doesn't know to sing at all. Keep him far away from the mic. Somebody who's a good speaker and somebody who's not a good speaker. 5 minutes you come to know. Not a big deal. Somebody who is a good musician playing different instruments and somebody who's not so good. Easily you come to know. Because if two people are almost equal in skill, but even then it's not such a big rocket science to say the difference. The second thing Mahabharata teaches us is being loyal to adopted values. The first is skills, excellence in skills. Second is being loyal to adopted values. Even this is easy to understand to a great extent. Like, for example, maintaining a dress code, reaching on time, never breaking lines, following traffic signals, dressing up very nicely and meticulously, All that. Very, very. So this aspect of one's behavior cannot be ignored. And it's very impressive. Today, in fact, people get so impressed with good behavior. But the Mahabharata doesn't stop here. First is excellence in skills. Second is being loyal to adopted values. These two are very external. A lot of times we judge people based on only these two things. The Mahabharata has two other things. The third thing the Mahabharata talks about is internal character. Now, this can be tricky. It's not easy to judge, to understand a person's internal character in a short interaction. If you observe that person for a long period of time, then you can understand the internal character of the person. So, like for example, honesty. How do you understand the honesty of a person with one interaction? Every businessman says, I am very honest. And you're going to take it at face value just because he says, I'm honest? No, you can't understand the character of a person. You can't understand honesty based on one interaction. You can't even understand honesty based on 10 interactions. Second is, how do you understand if somebody is sensitive to other person's needs? Not easy to understand in one interaction. How do you understand if a person is humble at the core? This aspect of character is experienced by society at large over a period of time. The fourth thing the Mahabharata talks about, this is amazing. So first is expertise, excellence and skills. Second is being loyal to adopted values. Third is internal character. You know what's the fourth thing? Fourth thing is purpose. This is the most difficult to ascertain. What is the purpose of all the three? What is the purpose for which you have those skills? What is the purpose for which you have learned all those skills? Like a terrorist gets trained in shooting, using AK-47, whatever guns, and he's expert, excellent skills. Wow! Send him to Olympic competition. That guy is going to make the worst use of his skills because the purpose is wrong. So just because there's excellence in skills doesn't mean anything unless you know what is the purpose for which he has learned those skills. And the second is, what is the purpose for which he is showing those adopted values? Amazing. If you think of it like this, what is the purpose for which you behave nicely? Many kids in school, very nicely they behave. Those kids who behave really, really nicely sometimes are the most naughtiest guys. That external behavior is just a facade to hide their naughtiness. Some kids are very naughty, but externally they seem so innocent. You end up thinking, "Arey, this fellow is like really descended from the spiritual world." But they are the worst of the lot. They behave so nice only to fool you, basically. And the same thing with good character. So sometimes a person is very honest, but that person is not exactly honest for the right purpose. Sometimes that honesty can also be for a wrong purpose. Over a period of time, people use that honesty as a hook to trap you, a hook to get things done from you. So purpose is the most important. Understanding the purpose gives you complete picture about a person. And therefore, to understand the purpose of a person, you really need to go deep. Skills, anybody can become expert in. Adopted values, all that external behavior, deception, that's very easy to fool around. Character, it's very more difficult. But purpose, most difficult to understand of a person. Therefore, the Mahabharata says, if you want to know a person in completeness, first find what his purpose of life is. First find what his purpose is behind everything he's doing. And then you will understand the person in completeness. So today, when we study Karna, we are going to go back to the purpose. And unless you know the purpose for which he is doing whatever he is doing, you won't know him in completeness. And I'm going to tell you what that purpose is. Like for example, I don't know how many of you all are engineers here, but if you are engineers, you will understand this better. But if you're not, you'll still understand it. There used to be an experiment in our electronic engineering where we were given a board, an electronic board, where there were many slots, and we had to connect one wire to another wire to another, from this place to another place. Like you just put wires like that, and the experiment takes about 15-20 minutes. But after putting those 20-30 wires from here to there, there to here, you won't understand in the end which wire is connected where. Your head literally spins because all wires look same, all same color, and they're all seeming to coming out from the same place. Only the person who has been right from the beginning, he understands the whole thing. So Mahabharat, Vyasdev in the Mahabharat, he describes the purpose of Mahabharat. He says, look at this. Such clear understanding what is the purpose of Mahabharat. First, to describe the greatness of Lord Krishna. Second, Gandhari's dharma and character. Third, the family of the Kurus. Fourth, the truthfulness of the Pandavas. Fifth, Vidura's forward thinking. Sixth, Kunti's steadfastness and determination. Seventh, description of the evil behavior of the Kauravas. This is the purpose of Mahabharata, of teaching us the Mahabharata, basically. And in the introduction to Mahabharata, Vyasdev compares Duryodhan to be a tree of anger. And he says Karna is the trunk of the tree. Imagine. This is the description, Vyasdev's description of the characters. And his Shakuni is the branches of the tree. Dushashan is all the abundant flowers and fruits. And Dhritarashtra is the root of the tree. Root of all problems, Dhritarashtra. On the other hand, Vyasdev describes Yudhishthir as Dharma Mayo, which means the one full of Dharma. And his Maharaj Yudhishthir is compared to Dharma tree, with Arjuna as his trunk, Bhima as the branches, Nakul Sahadev as the unlimited fruits and flowers, and Lord Krishna as the root of the tree. And that is why we find that, there is a very interesting way of looking at the characters of the Mahabharata. See, some of the characters of the Mahabharata clearly represent evil. We don't have any problem in accepting Dushashan as evil because he was evil only. Only qualification was born in a great family. Otherwise, everything else was bad in him. Or for example, if you look at a character like Vidura, there's nothing bad to be written. He was a skillful minister. He could give appropriate advice, very good art of dealing with people, very strategic. He was very good. Bhishma, everything sacrificing about this personality. No personal agenda. This invokes a lot of sympathy from everyone. Yudhishthir sometimes attracts questions. How could he take part in gambling? How could he take Draupadi and all? But overall, Yudhishthir's personality is more or less like a peaceful, flowing river. It invokes serenity of the mind. But Vyasdev, when he describes Karna, he groups him in the 4 evil people of the Mahabharata. He calls it as Dushta Chatushya. Who are the Dushta Chatushya in the Mahabharata? He says Duryodhan, Dushashan, Shakuni, Karna. 4 people. He groups Karna in that category of Dushta Chatushya. But Karna evokes a lot of emotions in people. In fact, contemporary writers, a lot of emotions in them. And the loyalists are so tagged to Karna for his friendship, for giving charity, for all the sympathy that he attracts, for being unfortunate and things like that. So therefore, we need to discuss many aspects of Karna in detail. So today, I don't think I will have time for question answers, but because I need to speak a lot more. and I need to leave for a meeting at about 8:10, 8:15. But I want to go a little deeper into the subject so that you all hear carefully and you understand a lot more, right? So we will discuss first about the caste. Just to help you understand some details that you may not be aware of. Karna's entry in the Mahabharat happens, a very specifically known entry in the Mahabharat happens when he comes uninvited to an exhibition match. So the Pandavas are actually having an exhibition match, the Pandavas and Kauravas, organized by Bhishma, organized by Guru Drona and Kripacharya, because they want to see what the boys have learned in the Gurukul. So there's an exhibition match going on. It's a family match. It's not like a open competition that anybody in the world can come in. It's specifically only for the family. And somehow in that family match, Karna walks in uninvited. And he starts exhibiting his skills without being told to. And suddenly Arjun, he starts challenging Arjun and provoking Arjun. And the fight was about to begin. Kripacharya intervenes. Kripacharya is the Kula Guru. And obviously, he is concerned about who the stranger is. Like imagine, your kids are playing in your house, and they're playing a friendly game, and suddenly somebody from outside comes in and says, "I will play," and he starts showing off, in front of your kids, and he starts playing random things. Won't you even ask who you are? Won't you even ask who you are? Suddenly, how you have come in? That's what Kripacharya did. And he's asked, what is your background? Who are you? It's natural to ask a stranger who comes in uninvited. And as soon as Kripacharya did this, Karna hung his head. And his father comes in and tells, he's my son. Now here, this whole context of Karna being disregarded is very contextual to the way in which he entered uninvited. So if anyone goes into somebody else's house uninvited and does crazy things there, are you not going to be prepared for some insult? Obviously, you're going to be prepared for some insult because you are not invited there. So Bhima, he started making fun of him, obviously. He said, "Hey, you don't deserve to come here. You should handle the reins, not a chariot, not a bow." Now, as soon as Bhima blasted on Karna, see, you have to understand, Bhima is an angry young man. He not only blasts on Karna, he'll blast on anybody who does anything wrong. When Yudhishthir did something wrong, he blasted on Yudhishthir also, if you remember, right? The nature of some people is to blast. You can't take them too seriously. Bhima blasted on Karna also because he saw Karna doing something wrong there. And Duryodhan, the moment Bhima opened his mouth, Duryodhan immediately stepped in and he said, "Hey, you are not a Sutaputra. I declare you as the king of Angadesh." The question is, what was the loss for Karna here in this match? Did Karna lose anything? Somebody insulted him, but he became a king. What a bargain! If somebody insults you and the result of that insult is you become a king, from being a commoner to becoming a king for one insult, it's actually a big gain. It's not a loss at all for Karna. And interestingly, the most amazing thing that people don't know is this. Drona gave education to Karna also. To study the Mahabharat in the Adi Parva, Drona gave education to Karna. If it was all about caste, Drona should not have given education to Karna, isn't it? And let us talk a little bit about the Suta community. Karna is declared to be a Suta Putra, isn't it? What is Suta? Suta means two things. In one level, Suta means chariot driver, right? But Suta also means thread. In many languages, we use the thread is called sutli, right? Where does that come from? It comes from the word Suta. So Sutas are threads. Like for example, in the Ramayana, Sumantra was a Suta, carriage driver of Dasharath Maharaj, but also the Prime Minister of Dasharath Maharaj. Suta Goswami in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Suta community, but he was speaking to 60,000 sages. He was like given a chance to speak the Bhagavatam to 60,000 sages. Kichak, Kichak in the Mahabharat, the place where they were staying, Vidura's, in Virat Desh. Kichak was the brother of the queen over there. Kichak was a Suta, but he was the commander-in-chief of the Virat army. Valmiki was born in a low family. Vyasdev was a fisherman's daughter's son. So low birth is never a problem in the scriptures. To study the Vedic scriptures properly, low birth is never a problem. And it's not that people who are born low are not given opportunities. That is not a problem at all. Please remember that. So Drona, in fact, gave education to Karna also. A lot of people think Drona rejected Karna. Drona only told no to Karna as far as higher weapons are concerned. He said no to giving him the, because he said this is given only to celibate Brahmanas or austere Kshatriyas. And he told Karna, I don't think you qualified. And therefore, Karna went to Parshuram. And he knew Parshuram had a condition. What is the condition of Parshuram? He will not teach a Kshatriya. He will only teach a Brahmana. And Karna was so obsessed to get Brahmastra and higher weapons that he lied to his teacher for being a Brahmana. He lied to his teacher to get access to higher weapons. His goal was not sympathy, but ambition. Please remember this. When people become sympathetic to Karna saying that he was from a lower caste, he did not get opportunities based on his caste at all. For those who have read the Mahabharat properly and those who understood what I'm trying to say, caste was never a problem for him. What was his problem? His problem was his ambition without deserving it. That was where the problem was. Now we will discuss the charity of Karna. Can a charitable person cheat? Think about this. Can a charitable person cheat? Let me tell you a story. One man came to a spiritual organization and gave lots of donations. He won the confidence of the priest. And the priest eventually began to trust him, gave him full access to the treasury and to the accounts. And this man took away much, much more than he had donated. See, to be charitable is not a new quality. So many kings were charitable. Lord Ram, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Shivi Maharaj, Ranti Dev, Bali Maharaj, so many charitable people were there. How does Karna fit into this charity box? Let me tell you a story that you may not be aware of. Karna took a vow after which he became charitable. If you study the Mahabharat, there is a particular section where Duryodhan performs a yajna. And the name of this yajna is known as Vaishnav Yajna. Duryodhan undertakes this Vaishnav Yajna. And in this yajna, Karna is invited. And during this yajna, in the middle of this yajna, Karna takes a vow. Right in the middle of the yajna. Look at the vows of Karna. I'm sharing this with you all. He says, I will never allow anyone to bathe my feet. I will not eat anything which grows in water bodies. It could mean fish, it could mean lotus. And he says, I will give charity to Brahmanas till I kill Karna. Till I kill Arjun. This is 3 vows that he takes that day. And from that day onwards, he starts giving charity profusely. What was the purpose for his charity? Using the benefit of giving charity would increase his power to defeat Arjun. This kind of charity is charity in the mode of ignorance. This is charity in the mode of ignorance. Charity that has this end may look very noble externally, but is very dangerous internally because the purpose of this charity is deceptive. Remember, we're talking about purpose, right? Why is he giving charity? This is the purpose. So Karna wanted to be known as a charitable person and he was eager to maintain that. But when he saw that the benefit of charity as a means to gain power to kill Arjun, this charity took the shape of a strategy. Of course, a Kshatriya can use anything to his advantage to become victorious. But playing this charitable person externally and using the power of charity and the blessings earned by charity to kill your opponent is deceptive. And it always boomerangs. Like, say, for example, nowadays we hear that many third world countries and developing countries, many NGOs operate to control rather than perform genuine charity for the sake of the community. The agenda of charity is to enhance the quality of the receiver, and if it is tainted with the benefits of, then it's not a strategy. Then it's not a charity, it's called strategy. And therefore, it has to be dealt with differently. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita mentions that when there is motivation other than that, other than just the desire to, benefit somebody, give charity for the sake of giving, or when charity is given with the wrong intentions, it becomes charity in the mode of ignorance, tamaguna. So now charity had twofold meaning for Karna. One, maintain the fame of being charitable, and second, to use the benefit of charity to kill Arjuna. And therefore, this is a story of Karna gambling away his natural armor. He had this kavach and kundal, right, when he was born with it. And just before the war, Surya, the sun god, his father, Karna's father, came and gave Karna a warning. He told Karna that Indra will come and ask for your kavach kundal. He said, don't give it away. Karna said, no, I can't stop giving charity. If anybody who comes to me, I'll give him whatever he asks for. Karna said, so Surya said, fine, if you want to give, no problem, give. But in return, ask for the Shakti weapon of Indra. And Surya went away. As predicted, Indra came, disguised as a Brahmana. Karna knew it is Indra. And Indra asked for charity. Karna first, he pleaded with him, please ask for anything other than Kavach and Kundal. But Indra was very clear. He said Kavach Kundal only. Amazingly, you know what Karna did? Karna, when Surya came, he said, no, I will give charity whoever asks, correct? But when it actually came to the turn of giving charity, you know what he did? He said, I'll give you Kavach Kundal, but give me Shakti weapon. Which charity is given by asking something in return? When you give a beggar 5 rupees, do you say, Arey, now you give me 1 banana? Is that charity or is it a transaction? Have you ever done a charity when you give something, you ask something back in return? No. Charity means you don't ask anything in return. But here, he asked. It means charity was not his purpose. What was his purpose? His purpose was to kill Arjuna. He knew up until this time, Karna, there was not a single time when Karna defeated Arjuna in a fight. Not a single battle in the entire Mahabharat. So his Kavach Kundal would keep him safe. But the Kavach Kundal would not help him kill Arjuna. So it's like this, in a football game, if you have a very, very good goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper keeps protecting all your goals, but there is nobody who will go and put goal in the other person's, in your opponent's, goal post. What's the point? Karna said, see, I have protected myself enough. Now I want to kill Arjun. That's my goal. So to achieve his goal, he took a risk. Because business means risk, isn't it? Any business has to have some risk in it. And therefore, when Karna realized that if I give this, then I get that Shakti weapon. And that Shakti weapon will help me kill Arjun. He said, I'm ready to take this risk. If it was charity, then why did he ask something in return? From Karna's viewpoint, charity is always meant to get you something in return. If charity is given for the benefit of the receiver, then it is pure charity. But if it is given considering the benefit of the giver, then it is not charity, it is strategy. It was not Karna's innocence that made him lose his kavach. It was his intention of change of powers. Of course, part of the strategy was to earn a title of a greatly charitable person. That also he got. So when Kunti came to Karna to beg him to give up the side of the Kauravas, she was not sent by Krishna. Rather, she herself was inspired based on the talks with Vidura she had. And she kept thinking about the outcome of the battle between the Pandavas and Kauravas. She wanted to stop the war. And she wanted to stop the death of so many innocent people. And she went to Karna because of this thought. And she was thinking that this fellow is a charitable person. Anyone who comes to me cannot go empty handed. So he himself tells her. So Kunti doesn't ask him, please don't kill my sons. He himself tells her that anybody who has come to me cannot go back empty handed. So I am promising you that 5 sons of yours will remain, either me or Arjun. Kunti never asked him only. He gave charity unnecessarily without being asked, basically, just to show that he's a big charitable person. And here's another very interesting story, which you may not know of. When this story is in the Sthala Puran of Badrinath temple, the Badrinath temple in the north, in the Himalayas, the Sthala Puran of this temple has this very interesting story. And what is the story? The story is of how there was a demon named Sahastra Kavach. Sahastra Kavach means 1,000 Kavach demon. So this demon had a boon that he wore 1,000 kavachas, and to destroy one kavach of his, somebody has to do tapasya for 100 celestial years. Only then the person can be able to destroy the kavach of one kavach of that fellow. And the person who destroys one kavach of that person, he'll die immediately. Which means that person is practically immortal, isn't it? So this demon was really harassing the world. At that time, the Supreme Lord took an incarnation known as Nara Narayan Rishis. So the same Krishna and Arjun, in the previous incarnation, they were known as Nara Narayan. And to kill Sahastra Kavach, they made a strategy. So one day, Nara would meditate in the Himalayas, in Badrinath. It is said in Badrinath, if you meditate for one day, it is equivalent to meditating for 100 celestial years. One day of tapasya, meditation in Badrinath. So Nara would meditate for one day, and in that one day, then he would go and fight with Sahastra Kavach. At the end of that one day, he would destroy one of the kavachas and he would die. And in that one day, Narayan would meditate for one day, one full day, and next day he would fight with Sahastra Kavach and destroy one more kavach. And in the meanwhile, Nara would come back to life and again meditate for one day. So like this, they were alternating doing, and like that, they destroyed 999 kavachas of Sahastra Kavach. So when Sahastra Kavach realized that he has only one kavach left, he ran. And he kept running and running and running. Finally, he took shelter of the sun god. The sun god, when he saw Naranaran Rishi chasing Sahastra Kavach to kill him, the sun god said, see, he has taken shelter of me. Let it be. Please don't kill him because I have offered him shelter. But in his next life, you can kill him. And the same Naranaran Rishi appeared as Krishna and Arjun. And the same Sahastra Kavach, he appears as Karna. And the current Kavach Kundal that he's born with is the last Kavach from his previous life. So the idea of Sahastra Kavach is a previous life's story. And that is how the story of that is connected with this story. And that's how Karna was born with that Kavach. A lot of people talk about the friendship of Karna. What a great friend he was. But interestingly, he never consulted Duryodhan for the most important decisions of his life. Just to give you some examples to show what hollow friendship he had with Duryodhan. just before the war, Bhishma insulted Karna very badly. And Bhishma spoke something that was really hurtful to Karna. He called Karna as a Ardharathi. Ardharathi means half a warrior. Can't fight properly also, Why? Because Bhishma said this fellow has a curse on his head that during the most important battle of his life, he'll forget everything. So he said, what's the use of you being so useful other times and during the most important war, you're useless. So he said, according to me, you're a Ardharathi. Karna felt so bad. Instantly he took a vow. Till Bhishma is alive, I won't enter the war. Duryodhan got the shock of his life. Imagine, Duryodhan believed this guy like anything. His entire war strategy was based on the fact that Karna was with me. And this fellow takes a vow like this. Right in the beginning of the first day of the war, he takes a vow like this. That I won't fight till Bhishma is alive. I know the war lasted for 18 days. You know how many days Bhishma was alive? 10 days. So for 10 days, what was Karna doing? Sitting inside and chilling. He didn't come to fight. What kind of a friend is this? Somebody insults. 10 days gone. What are the 18 days of the war? Not just that. When before the war, Karna gave up the Kavach Kundal. When he came back after giving the Kavach Kundal, Duryodhana was so disappointed. He was so disappointed looking at Karna. He said, now what is the difference between you and any other warrior? The only reason Duryodhana chose Karna was because he was special. He could not be killed. And here he comes giving the Kavach Kundal away without asking his friend. Duryodhana asked him, I'm your king. You can ask me at least. You're not king, at least I'm your friend. Ask me as a friend at least. Such an important decision of his life. Nothing. He gave and came back. And not just that. When Karna, so his friendship is very, very shallow. He and Shalya were having a lot of fights. And Shalya gave some advice to Karna to shoot Arjun on his chest, not on the neck. Karna didn't take any advice seriously. This is the problem with Karna because he always thinks that he knows what is right. As far as his character is concerned, just to help you understand the character of Karna in a better way, Karna, it is explained, there are many authors who write like this, that during the marriage ceremony of Draupadi publicly insulted Karna, saying that I will not marry your suitor. And therefore, Karna made sure that he publicly insulted her as a revenge for that insult. Now tell me, is there a comparison? Somebody is called a suitor, and the revenge for that is that you disrobe a girl publicly. Is that an equal revenge? Come on, how do you equate that? How does anybody even think like that? That somebody being called a suitor is equivalent to a woman being disrobed. That is the level to which many of our, unfortunately ill-informed authors think, basically. So, Karna's fans, they opine universally that no woman should go through what Draupadi went through, but Draupadi deserved it. According to them, she needed to taste the very pain that she administered by oppressing Karna. What a logic. I don't think this makes any sense to anybody. And then, interestingly, if you look at the way in which this whole story goes, so when, so just to give you some stories about the character of Karna, when Duryodhana was thinking how to kill the Pandavas or how to create dissension between them, you know what Karna said? You can verify this from the Mahabharat. Karna said, Draupadi has 5 men. Women naturally want a relationship with more than one man. Imagine what a sexist remark this is. Karna said this, and this is where the Mahabharata. Women naturally want a relationship with more than one man. And also when he was talking to Shalya, he blasphemed the women of Madradesh. He said all the women of Madradesh are low class, low character. What kind of a person is this, making sexist remarks on a regular basis? So seeing Draupadi being dragged, only Duryodhan, Dushashan, Karna, and Shakuni, these are the only 4 people who were laughing. And Draupadi, when she started asking questions about Dharma, that time, Vikarna got up and opposed it. When Vikarna opposed, Karna was so angry on Vikarna. He said, you are not born in the Kurukul. You just keep quiet if you are a Kuru. You're a stupid child. When others are not speaking, why are you speaking? He's telling her. Then how can you say that she's not lost to the Kauravas? He says Yudhishthir lost everything. Doesn't everything involve Draupadi? And you're saying she's not lost. And you're saying bringing a woman, publicly having one cloth on her body, you are saying it is adharma. Now hear my opinion. This is Karna's opinion. He says, gods have laws for women who have only one wife, one husband. But Draupadi has 5 husbands. So certainly she's a prostitute. To bring her in public is no crime, whether in one cloth or whether without any cloth. This is my opinion, Karna says. And then he's addressing, Dushasana, and he says, Karna is a fool. He says, you must take off the cloth of all the Pandavas and disrobe Draupadi also. So Dushasana started disrobing Draupadi, which was ordered by Karna. And Karna spoke something so stupid. Karna tells Draupadi this: a slave, a son, and a wife are always dependent, and therefore they own nothing. Whoever has won your husband, you belong to that person. Now you serve the family of Duryodhana. From now on, all the sons of Dhritarashtra are your masters, not only the Pandavas. And he says you can choose a different husband so that you don't have to be a slave again. And he said you can be a maid, or you can be as sensual as you want. Imagine, Karna had no respect for women at all. Calling Draupadi a prostitute is itself a big sin. Even a prostitute cannot be made naked publicly. What to speak of a queen? The difference between Karna and Arjuna is, Karna, when he went to the heavens, he called even a person who was, Apsara in the heaven, like a society girl, literally, he called her his mother. And Karna is calling the queen of the land a prostitute. That's the difference between Arjuna and Karna's character. And that really shows a lot about the kind of person that he was. There's a difference between heroism and skill. If Karna was really a hero and a very highly skilled person, why would he kill Abhimanyu, a 16-year-old boy, shoot him from behind? When Abhimanyu was caught in the Chakravyuh, single-handedly, Abhimanyu was defeating all the 6 Maharathis. At some point, Karna went to Dronacharya and he said, this boy is undefeatable. Tell me some way to stop him. You know what Dronacharya said? Dronacharya told Karna, there's nothing you can do from the front. Dronacharya only said that much. That's all. He didn't say anything more than that. Dronacharya said, as long as he wears his armor, and that armor of Abhimanyu is tied in a particular way that only 2 people know other than Abhimanyu, Arjuna and Karna and Krishna. Only Dronacharya gave this much hint. Karna took that hint very seriously. He went straight at the back and shot an arrow from behind. Which hero would do this? And which hero would do this to a 16-year-old boy? Imagine. And that's the Karna we're talking about, right? So this itself, and not just that he did that, he broke the bow of a lot about the whole personality of Karna. And now, the most amazing thing. And Karna was on the floor during the last fight of his life, fighting against Arjun, and his chariot sank. The wheel sank. And as soon as the wheel sank, Shalya got off the chariot and he said, I'm going home. Karna said, come on, you're a chariot driver, you're supposed to help me. Shalya said, see, I am only supposed to help you till the chariot is working. Now that the chariot is not working, it's not my work anymore. He went away. And Karna was trying to lift the chariot with his own hands. And as he was trying to lift, Krishna told Arjun, shoot him. And Karna began to tell Arjun, you can't do this to me. You can't do this to me because this is not right. This is not dharma. And you know what Krishna did? Krishna told Karna, he reminded Karna of each and every sin, every wrong that he had done from the past. He reminds Karna of all the mistakes that he had done in his past. He asks Karna, you're talking about dharma. He said, where was your dharma when You denied to give the Pandavas the legitimate kingdom after being requested. Where was your dharma when Bhima was fed poison? Where was your dharma when the Pandavas were attacked and burnt in the forest of Mahabharat? He said, where was your dharma when Dushashan dragged Draupadi and disrobed her? Where was your dharma when you called Draupadi a prostitute? Where was your dharma when you slaughtered a young boy? 6 people slaughtered him. So Krishna is telling him, it is very nice that you remember dharma. A man in distress always talks about dharma. But when a man is stable and conscious, where does he remember dharma? And Krishna tells him, which dharmic war was it? What is the point in discussing dharma now when it is not practiced ever? And then Krishna tells Arjun, shoot him down. He doesn't deserve a dharmic death. And Arjun, mounts his arrow. And look at this. This is amazing about Arjun. Arjun, after putting the arrow on his bow, he offers a prayer. And he prays, if I have ever practiced penance, if I have ever respected my superiors, if I have performed a sacrifice, and I have heard the good counsel of friends, then let this Anjalika weapon destroy my enemy. You know why Arjuna offered this prayer? He was hoping that he made at least one mistake in his life. Because if he made even one mistake in his life, the weapon would not work. But fortunately, Arjun didn't make any mistake, and that weapon worked, and it destroyed Karna. And therefore, if you look at Karna from all these points of view that we have been talking about, then you get a complete picture of Karna. Then you understand the purpose for which Karna was doing so many things. And then you can understand the character of Karna a little better than what you could have without all this information. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. I can take one question today. I'm running out of time. I'm